Good morning, everyone. Am I audible to you?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. So, any questions, any doubts from the first lecture? Our first lecture was just introductory lecture. Right? In first lecture, we just get the introduction about the cybersecurity. What is the cybersecurity? Why we are learning cybersecurity, and other things related to the cybersecurity. Right? So now we will start our actual syllabus, our first unit, right? Our first unit is vulnerability scanning. So yesterday we discussed about the vulnerability, right? Vulnerability is a weakness in any mechanism at the time of designing, developing, or at the time of implementation. If I am developing a system, if I am developing a website or application, then I have to make sure that at the time of the development, at the time of the coding, some of the attacks, we have to prevent some of the attacks like SQL injection, cross-site scripting attacks, right? This is the task of the developers to generate the code which is a good code against the this type of attacks, which attacks are basically on the database and on the website's code, right? So our first unit is vulnerability scanning, right? uh, Now, as all of you know about the vulnerability, next thing is the scanning, right? If as a security person I want, hello, yes, Disha, I will share my display. Okay, don't worry about it. Any questions? Am I clearly audible to you, or any glitches are there?
No, sir. Audible.
Okay, so okay, thank you, Hardo. Here is my display, and the first unit is system vulnerability scanning. As a security person or as a ethical hacker, why we have to learn about the vulnerabilities and why we have to learn about this scanning, right? So let me give you one example. If you are planning to attack someone in the physical world, right? If you are planning to attack someone in the physical world, then what we do, we just find out the other person's all the details, other person's background, right? And after that we will attack on him, right? So same as the physical world, in the digital world, before attacking some device, before attacking some systems, we have to find out the vulnerabilities of the system, we have to find out the loopholes of the system, and using that loopholes and vulnerabilities, we can attack anyone's system. Right? This is the first phase of the hacking. Actually, this is the first phase of the hacking, to find out the vulnerabilities and to find out the loopholes of the system. And after that, we can attack on that system only. Okay? So, this one is the vulnerability scanner. We have to use some of the tools which are known as the scanner tools. right? Which are helpful to us in finding the vulnerabilities and loopholes and weaknesses of the system, right? So first one is the vulnerability scanner. Vulnerability scanning is an inspection of the potential points of exploit on a computer or network to identify the security holes. Right? As I told you, and this is the definition of the vulnerability scanning. Vulnerability scanning is an inspection of the potential points of exploit on a computer or network to identify the security holes in the networks and systems, right? What actually vulnerability scanners do? A vulnerability scanner detects and classifies systems weakness in computers, networks, and communication equipments and predicts the effectiveness of countermeasures. What the scanners actually do? Scanners give us information related to actually weaknesses, and also it will give us the effectiveness of the countermeasures. Right? If in any system a firewall is there, if in any network a firewall is there, then what our scanner will show us? Our scanner will show us a firewall symbol and a lock symbol there, which will notify us about the securities and the countermeasurement of the network and the server. Right? So a vulnerability scanner is itself a very powerful tool which will give us a very detailed report and very detailed information about the system on which we are planning to find out the loopholes and the vulnerabilities, or on which we are planning to attack, right? In the cyber security or in the ethical hacking, all tools have two functionalities. All tools have two purpose. First purpose is to use the tool for the countermeasurement, and second purpose is to find out the loopholes using the tools and use the tool to hack someone, right? So like uh, this is the same way as the purpose of the weapon, right? I have a gun, and what is the purpose of the gun? I can attack someone using my gun, and I can also protect myself from the for this using this gun, right? I can use this gun for my defense also, and I can use this gun for the attacking someone. So same way, we have a very powerful tools, and we can use the tools for the both the purpose for attacking someone and for defending ourselves, right? Next, a scan may be performed by an organization's IT department or a security service provider, possibly as a condition imposed by some authority, right? If I want to scan our institute's network or someone else institute's network as an ethical hacker or as a security person, then I have the I must have the permission of the IT department of the organization, and I have to follow the security service protocols of the organization before the scanning. If I am performing a scanning without the permission of the organization or without the permission of the higher authorities, then it is known as a hacking, right? If I am doing this all these kind of activities with a permission, then it is a ethical hacking. If I am not doing this kind of activities, then it is a just hacking, or we can say black hat hackers, right? Now, second, what are the types of the vulnerability scanners, right? What we are doing here, we are just understanding the first step of the security or first step of the hacking, right? If I want to provide someone security, then I have to find out where is the loopholes and where the actually security is needed. After that, we can give the security measurements to someone, right? So vulnerability scanners have their own ways of doing the jobs. We can classify the vulnerability scanners into four types of based on how they operate. Right? First one is the cloud-based vulnerability scanners. In the cloud-based vulnerability scanners, we have two examples. First one is the Acunetics and next one is the NetSparker. What actually the cloud-based vulnerability scanners do? Cloud-based vulnerability scanners scan any system or any network from the unknown location, or we can say from the cloud-based servers. Right? We are not able to find out the actual location of the cloud-based applications or cloud-based scanners. Right? Second one is the host-based vulnerability scanner. Host-based means it is installed inside the computer or inside a single host. Right? Let's take one example. If I am a vulnerability scanner person and I have some software installed in my laptop or installed in my system, then my scanners and I am known as the host-based vulnerability scanner, which is going to use the system and going to use some software which are installed inside the system. So we have two examples, MBSA and any antivirus software which is installed inside of your system. Right? Third one is the network-based vulnerability scanner. Uh, the most used ones are these network-based vulnerability scanner. Right? Examples: Nessus, Cyberport, Netrecon, and Retina. Right? These are the widely used vulnerability scanners. What they do, as the name suggests, all these scanners are used to identify or used to find out the vulnerabilities inside the network. Right? Currently, I am connected in the Marwadi University's network, and if I want to find out the vulnerabilities from the network, right, and from the devices which are connected in same network, then I have to use all these type of tools. The most widely used tool among these is the Nessus tool, right? Next one is the database-based vulnerability scanner. Database is the most important part of any system, right? As all of you are aware about the database and the purpose of the database, right? Without a database, there is no future of computer engineering or not any type of work we can do without the database, right? So we must have some type of vulnerability scanners which are working on the database only, right? So we have one example here is the scuba, right? So okay, right. So you have any questions related to these four types of scanners? Okay, okay. Thank you. Uh, I want to add something here also. In network-based vulnerability scanner, there is one scanner known as the Nmap. Nmap means network mapper, right? Which is we will use this Nmap in our lab sessions also because it is there in our practical list. So uh, we will use the vulnerability scanners in lab sessions also, and you will get more and more familiar with all these things as our labs and lectures goes on, right? Now, yes, open port service identification. In the chat box, yes, in the chat box, someone write down, yes, Vipul Kumar uh, told us that it identifies the open ports, right? Now, uh, I think you are learning the computer networks right now, right, as a subject. And you must have the knowledge of the port, right? Anyone knows what is the port?
Sir, port is that through which data transfer can be done.
Yes, good. Anyone else? Okay, let me clear it. Port is a number. Yes, port is a number, and port number is the point of connection for particularly services. Right? Each and every service have a port number, which is act as the point of connection. Right? Very good, Sonakshi. Right? Good. So basically, the purpose of the port is getting the connection to particular service, right? So, as a hacker, or what the hackers will do, right? If someone is trying to attack my system, if let's say if I want to hack, if I want to hack Vipul Kumar's system, then what I have to do? I have to find out the open ports, or I have to find out which service is working on which port number, right? So, yes, I have to scan all the open ports of the Vipul Kumar's system, right? So this after getting the open port numbers, to I will try to use that port number for my purposes, and if I am able to get access of that particular port number, then I will open a back door on that particular port and on that particular service. Using that back door, I can access Vipul Kumar's system at any time. I can send my task to the Vipul Kumar's laptop, and I will perform my task there, and after the performance of my task, I will just get the result. Now, what happens at the point of the Vipul Kumar, right? At the point of the Vipul, the system of the Vipul will be okay, Milan. Yes, yes, Milan. I repeat it. Okay. Now here, what is a port, right? I start from the port again. Okay. What is the port, right? uh, Port is a virtual number, right, which provide us the services like connection. Using the port, our system or our services can communicate with each other, right? If my computer wants to send something to your computer, if my computer wants to send something to your computer using the TCP protocol, then my computer and your computer have to use a gateway, right? A gate or a path. So it is a virtual path and it has a number. Like we have in real life, we have numbers for the roads, right? Like National Highway number 8, National Highway number 1, National Highway number 45. Like the same way, we have numbers for the virtual connections, and these connections are known as the port, right? Now, if I want to communicate with Milan's laptop using the TCP IP protocol, then I have to connect Milan's laptop's port number 8080, right? Because the 80 number is for the TCP IP connection. If I want to send something to you, then I have to use a particular port, right? Now, what happens if your system has some ports open, right? Your system, uh, uh, let me say that by mistake, you have some ports open, and as a hacker, as an attacker, I am doing a vulnerability scan, open port scan on your system using your IP address or using your MAC address, right? After that, let's get one example. I found that in your system port number 80 is open for communication. So what I will do, I will try to communicate. Yes, I will try to communicate on that particular port. I will send some data on that port, right, using the Metasploit. Metasploit is a framework used to send payloads to someone else, right? So using the Metasploit, I will send you some packets, some payloads to your system, and I will try to get connection to your system. Now, as soon as I connected to your system, I will transfer my work to your system, right? I will do my work on your system and you don't know about it because it is in the background. So as my work start there, your system may be hang for you, right? You are doing just you are just playing your games or you are doing your office work and the system is hanging, right? You think that I have some viruses or something else in my system, but what actually happens there, actually your system is busy with my task what I gave to your system, right? And that's why your system is not responding to you. As soon as my task is completed, and I get my result from your system is now free and it will respond to you perfectly, right? So this is the backdoors and the open ports. Before attacking someone, I have to find out the open ports, right? Yes, Milan. Now clear the port numbers and what is the purpose of port. Okay, okay, good. So here are these some examples, right? These are these just some examples. Uh, if I am running the port scanner, then what I get, right, as an output. Here is the output. Port 1. In the port 1, a service is there, TCP MUX is there running. On the port 7, a echo is running. On port 22, and open SSH, open secure shell is there, and on port 25 SMTP is there. It means simple mail transmission protocol, right? SMTP is the main protocol to support the email services, and the another one is the POP, post office protocol. You will learn about it in your computer networks, but these are the default port number for a particular service. Port number 1 is reserved for the TCP MUX. Port number 7 is reserved for the echo. Port number 22 is reserved for the open SSH, and port number 25 is reserved for the SMTP. Let me give you information on these four ports. TCP MUX port number 1, it is used to develop the connection between the TCP IP, right? Second one is the port number 7. Echo services are running there. If someone is sending you hello message, or in your system someone is sending hello message, then your system will give answer to their hello by a hello, and our system will find out the distance between both these systems using a echo packet, right? Echo packet is mainly used to find out the distance between two systems and two devices connected in a same network, right? This service is at the port number 7. After that we have open SSH. Open SSH is used to secure the website content. We have two options there in our URL. First one is the HTTP and second one is the HTTPS. So the S is because of the open SSH, right? And port number 25, as I told you, port number 25 is used by the mail servers. So it is the SMTP. Now, as you learn in the computer networks, you will be familiar with all the ports and all the services, right? Also, as you gain your expertise in the network security and in the cyber security, you will have the knowledge of the all these course, right? Now just take it for the as per the example. Okay, now next point.
Sir,
If you
excuse me.
are, yes, please.
Sir, this all ports are virtual or it can be also physical.
No, they are just virtual.
Like we sir use Ethernet ports. So what is that, sir?
And no, Ethernet port is a physical port, right? We have a difference there in a physical port and logical ports. These are all the logical ports. These are all the gateways, right? So which supports the actually services, and the physical ports are used to plug the devices. In Ethernet port, what we will do, we plugged our Ethernet cable RJ45 connector, right? But for Ethernet or for internet, we have some other logical ports in the background. So both the ports are different, and Ethernet port, logical port don't need the numbers like, sorry, physical ports don't need the numbers like the logical ports. We knows them as their name, like USB port, like charging port, like SIM card ports, right? That's why the physical and logical ports are both the different ports. Am I clear, Divyansu?
Yes, sir. Clear.
Okay, okay, thank you. So if you are interested in identifying which services uses a given port, you can look at the file inside your computer. Inside the etc folder, there is one file, services. In this file, we have a list of the services and we have a list of the port number assigned to it, right? Next thing is the nmap. I already told you about the nmap, a network mapper, full name of the nmap, right? Nmap also allows you to do more than simply list open ports. So that nmap is, you can use nmap, and we will use nmap in our lab session to find out the open ports and the open services on any server, on any network, or on any system. So don't worry about the nmap and the tools. We will uh, go through it in the live demo, right? Next, where possible, it will identify the version of each identified services which is running, right? It also gives us the version of the service, which service or which version of the service is running on particular port. Why this is necessary, or why this is important, the version of the service, right? Why this is important? Let me give you one example. If I am using a older version of any service or any application, then it may possible that in older version there are many security related bugs, or security related backdoors are there. If I am using a new version, then it is possible that the developers or the organization of the software or service identified the bugs and clear all these bugs, right? So that's why it is important. Just give me 1 second. Hello. Sorry for disturbance. So we are talking about the identification of the version of each and every service, right? as I told you, why we have to find out the version of the particular service. Right? It may happen that if you are trying to exploit some older version, and you will find out that oh, there is not a older version installed, but it is a new version, and the security bugs which are there in the old version is now not there in the new version. At that time, our attack will be failed. So we have to find out the version of the service on which we are going to attack, right? Without this information, we are not able to complete our security or hacking related stuff, right? Next, it can also be used to identify the operating system the remote host is running by examining the variations, the way different network packets are handled. Right? Yes, before attacking, if I am trying to attack someone's laptop or someone's computer, then I must have the knowledge of the operating system. Right? If I am trying to attack, let's say someone's name from your class, if I am trying to attack Ravi Bhatt's laptop, then before performing attack, before finding the vulnerabilities, I must have the knowledge of the operating system which is installed in the Ravi's laptop, right? If Ravi's laptop has outdated operating system, let's say Windows XP or Windows 7, already Windows shut down their supports for these operating systems, right? Windows XP and Windows 7, and still Ravi is using Windows 7 in his system. Then I know that now all the bugs, right, are there as it is in Ravi's laptop. So I can easily find out the vulnerability of the Windows 7, and I can easily exploit the vulnerabilities of the Windows 7, right? So that's why all the network mappers, all these scanners, when we use this scanner, gives us information of the operating system, information of the port numbers, and information of the services which are there in the computer. Using all these type of details, we can easily hack someone's computer, right? Yes, we cool. Windows 7 has HTML platform security feature bypass vulnerabilities. Yes, Windows 7 has many vulnerabilities are there, and also now Windows is not supporting the 7. The vulnerabilities are there as it is, and anyone can use these vulnerabilities, right? Also, as all of you know that in the government offices, these systems are still running on the Windows 7 or the Windows XP, right? They didn't update their operating systems from the long time. So that's why the attacks on the Windows 7 and XP and on the government organizations are much in the real life, right? So back to PPT. Yes, before that, any questions from your side? Are you getting all the points? Yes, students, wake up. Okay, what's about others? Only four or five people answering me. Please, all of you, be focused here. You selected cybersecurity as your elective subject, and I think you selected this subject because you have interest in the cybersecurity. And I started cybersecurity from the scrap, or we can say from the zero, right? So if you have any doubts, if you want demo on anything, then let me know that sir, please give a demo on this, okay, and I will give you the demo on particular thing. Okay, thank you, Vipul. Okay, thank you all for your answers, and I am also enjoying my lectures. Right? Hopefully, you are also enjoying the lecture. Okay, let's back to the unit. So these are the all about the open port. What is the port and what information as a security person or as a ethical hacker you need from the port and services. Right now, next one is the version check. Right, these are the some commands which we will use in our lab sessions. Right, so I just skipping all these commands because we will use this command in our lab session in the nmap network mappers practical. Right, so don't worry about this slide. We will cover it in our lab session. Okay. Now, next thing is the banner grabbing. Yes, anyone knows about the banner? What is a banner? Not the advertisement, huh? Which is there on the poles in the city, right? What is the banner?
Sir, without asking, some service gives some information. It declares some information about themselves. So
Yes,
that is known as banner.
yes, good, very good. Anyone else? Okay, let me clear. Okay, a banner is a text, right? A banner is a information which is displayed by a host server or a host system containing details like software types, software version, and uh, on which port number or on which service the system is running or the server is running. It means whatever we have discussed in different slides and different points, if we want to merge all these things in single name, right? Then the name is the banner. Banner will give us all the information related to a system or a server. We have to only grab one thing and it is known as the banner of the system or banner of the server. Right? So banner grabbing is the act of getting software banner information, name and the version of the software or the system. Right? Whether it is done manually or by using any type of OSI NT tools that can do it for you automatically. Right? We have two possibilities here. First one is the manually and second one is the automated tool. Right? What is the OSINT? What is the meaning of the OSINT? Open source intelligence tools. Right? Open source intelligence tools. We will learn some of the tools also. Right? So uh, banner grabbing is the method which will reduce the work of the hackers or reduce the work of the ethical hackers and the security persons. Right, also we can consider that pen testers. Right, next point, FTP servers, web servers and SSH servers. Now each and every word we will discuss. Okay, don't worry about any word. If you are not familiar with any of this word, we will discuss each and every word which is new to you. Right, first word is the FTP server. What is the FTP server? Anyone knows about the FTP?
Sir, it is the file transfer protocol.
Yes, file transfer protocol. Okay, okay, Gaurav. I will repeat all these things as a quick revision. Okay, don't worry about it. Yes, file transfer protocol. Okay, it is a server which is helpful to its client to send files among themselves, right? If we have a computer, we have a network, and in network we have two computers, and both of them want to send data to each other, then we have to use our server as a file transfer server, right? Second one is the web server, right? We are using many web servers in real life, like let me give you one example, GoDaddy, right? We are using a GoDaddy server, which is helpful too for hosting the websites, right? This type of servers are known as the web servers. And next one is the secure shell SSH servers, which provides the security to the applications and the website using the HTTPS, or we can say secure socket layer. You will be familiar with all these things in your computer network subject as well as in our lab sessions. Okay, so SSH servers and other system domains often exploits critical information about not only the software name but also about the exact versions and operating systems they are running, right? So what the banner gives us, right? Port number, services, which type of server, what is the operating system, what is the version of the operating system. Also also it will give us details related to the firewall and the antivirus softwares as well, right? So banner grabbing is a most important task for a security person, because it will give you all the details of the victim's PC or the uh, expected target's PC. Now, third point, running a banner grabbing attack against any protocol can reveal insecure and vulnerable applications, which could lead to service exploitation and compromise. It means if I am running a banner grabbing on your system, right? After the completion of banner grabbing, your system will give me so many insecure codes, so many vulnerabilities from your different applications. Right? If you are using Adobe Reader in your system, then banner grabbing will also find out the vulnerabilities from the Adobe Reader. If you are using VLC media player in your system, then banner grabbing will also gives me vulnerabilities of your VLC player, right? In the case of matching a critical CVE, CVE is a vector algorithm, and it is not useful to you right now. So just let it go now. So this one is the banner grabbing. Uh, okay, now uh, as as Gaurav requested a quick revision, right? So today what we have done, right? Today what we have done. Today we have learned about the. Let me show you. Today we have learned about the vulnerability scanners, open port services, and the banner grabbing. Right? Inside this, what is the vulnerability? Let me give you just a quick revision. Okay, quick overview of this all these things. What is vulnerability? Vulnerability means a weakness in any mechanism, right? Using these weaknesses, any hacker or any attacker can get the access of our system and can harm our system, right? This is the vulnerability. As a security person or as a pen tester, you have to find out this type of the vulnerabilities from your system, right? So what we have to do, first we have to find out First, we have to find out the open ports. Right? What is the port? Port is a logical number which is useful to connect different services and which is useful to communicate different services. Right? It is not a physical device. It is just a logical number. Next, what we learn about the different types of the vulnerability scanners, right? Cloud-based, host-based, network-based, and database related vulnerability scanners are there. In our lab sessions, we will focusing only on the host-based and the network-based vulnerability scanners. Okay, because these both are the most important and these both are widely used in real life, as well as these both are in our syllabus also, right? So these are the types of the vulnerability scanners. After that, we have open port services, right? In this, I told you about the some port. We have four example of port number 1, 7, 22, and 25, right? After that, I told you, if you want to find out particular services and particular port number associated with each other, then you have to go to the folder etc, and inside the etc folder you have a file as a services, right? After that, a network mapper nmap is there. Using this nmap you can find out anyone's details like operating system, services, port number, other software installed on it, other devices between your system and his or her system. Also, you can find out the firewall between you and the victim's system. So, Nmap is also a powerful tool, and we will learn about it in our lab sessions. Right after that, version check we will see it in the lab session, so just skip it. And next one is the banner grabbing. In banner grabbing we will get all this information as a combined of a package, right? If I am using a network mapper or any other port scanners, then I only get the particular single detail information. But if I am going to use a banner grabber or banner grabbing tool, then in single tool or in single process I will get so many information of the victim's network or victim's computer, right? So is all the port number is same in all the device? If if someone knows changed the port number or someone not altered the port number, then by default so many port numbers are same in the all the devices, right? Let's say for a mailing purpose we are using smtp protocol, right? So it is a default port is 25. If I am using tcp, then the default port of the tcp is 21. If I am using the like http and https, then the default port number is the 80 for http, and for https the default port number is the 443. Yes, very good, you already know about it, right? Good, it's very good. Yes, yes, very good. I am happy that you have this much of information related to the port numbers and the services, right? I am happy. So any questions from your side?
Sir,
Yes, Divyansu.
sir, for different services we have different port numbers, right?
Yes, yes, yes.
So, sir, like how many ports number are there in this world, which is
Uh,
currently using?
yes, yes. Let me clear it. Uh, uh, when you studied computer networks, and in the your unit TCP, transmission control protocol unit, you have a list of the ports which are the default or the reserved for particular services, right? If I want to give some services my own port, right, then I have to use port number after the 1000, because this is not a rule, right? It is my personal opinion to give the port number after the 1000, right? Because up to 1000 there are some ports which are reserved for some specific services, and it is not known to you. And also I don't know all the ports and all these services. Okay, so when I want to check the ports, then I have to google it out. Okay, so if you want to, yes, it is provided by the IANA. Yes, good, Vipul. But if you want to develop your own service, and if you want to use any port for your own purpose, then you have to use, uh, please, it's my personal opinion, okay? This is not unique, or it is not a universal standard. I am telling you that use a port number after the 1000 number to reduce the different types of the collisions. Yes, what is IANA? Vipul Kumar, please clear it out. What is IANA? Internet Assigned Number Authority, right? So it is an organization which has the duties to assign particular port number, IP addresses, domain names, and the protocol parameters. Right? It is a organization, or we can say it is a community, right? Which is working on the numbers. Okay, very good. Good knowledge, Vipul Kumar. I appreciate your knowledge. Okay, which distributes all these things? Who assigned it? Okay. Yes. Let me clear one thing. There is not some authorities are there, and no, there is not any authorized person there which will give permission, right? Like, let me give you one example. If I am your class counselor, and if you want to go home early, then you have to ask to me, right? But in the computer or in the organizations, there is not any type of this. But if some researchers and some organization is there, and if they are developing some of the protocols, then what they have to do, they have to they have to submit this protocol to different governments and the different agencies of the government after the getting approval from the different countries, right? Like if USA and other European Unions gives the permission and gives the authority to some organization, then and only then the standards or the numbering will be used as the standard for the following purposes, right? So there is not any standard authority on it, or not a person which is controlling all these things, right? It is the combination of the some researchers or some of the IT companies are there in the organizations or in the community, right? Yes, it also, yes, I told it. It is working on the IP addresses, domain names, and the MAC addresses of the company, right? It is accepted as a standard organization by the all the countries of the world, right? Okay, so if you have no doubts, then let me get attendance. Okay. First of all, from the EC1 batch, from the EC1, present students, please write down your numbers in chat and mention after your number EC1. Okay. Please mention the EC1 after it. Only EC1. Okay. Okay. Uh, Make sure you are not doing proxy of anyone else, right? I am recording this lecture, and I will verify it. Okay. Now, please, EC2. Yes. Now, PC1. Okay. Others can left the meet. Lecture is over. Okay.
Thank you, sir.